Hello and welcome to Lesson 5. Now what I recommend you do in this lesson, as you follow what I'm teaching you, I suggest that you download an MP3 of the backing chord that I'm demonstrating these solos to. This way you can try the examples I'm giving you and see how they fit over the chord. Now let's continue on and learn some more phrases that will work with the major pentatonic over that C major chord. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play to you the leads that we did in the previous lesson. These were just short little phrases which gave you an idea of how to end on these chord notes on the 4th, 3rd and 2nd string. Here they are by themselves, and we also did it with a bend on the 3rd string. Now, I'd like you to listen as we try these over the backing chord. Now, we're going to extend our little musical vocabulary by learning a few more phrases on the same strings that are a little bit stretched out and longer. Here we go. Once again, starting on the 4th string, 5th fret, I place my first finger there, which I want you to do the same, and then hammer on to the 7th fret, same string, up to the 3rd string, back to the 4th string, and then back again to the 3rd string. Here's what it sounds like at proper speed. Again. And here's another one. So that was a hammer on, onto the 3rd string, back to the 4th, back to the 3rd and hammer on, form your fingers together and perform a bend again. So I hammer on here, I play, play, play and hammer, play again and bend. A little bit of a more complicated phrase here, but a very effective one nonetheless. Let's have a shot at one more. Let's go and do it now. Start with silently bending the 3rd string at the 7th fret, and then play the note, drop it down, pull off to the 5th fret, onto the 4th string 7th fret, back to the 3rd string 5th fret, hammer on to the 7th fret, and then play at the 5th fret to round it off. Here it is a little bit quicker. And again. Of course, you have to be careful when you do these silent bends that you pitch up to the right pitch so that it sounds like this note here. It's easy to be a little flat like I was just then. There, that's a better one. Let's listen to what these little lead solo fragments sound like over the backing C chord. Here we go. Now, I do urge you to practice those little musical phrases that I've just shown you. Again, download the MP3 of the backing chord and practice them thoroughly so that you get a feel of how some very simple melodic phrases can be constructed. Now, we're going to take a look at a technique that I call pedaling. Now, pedaling helps you create your own phrases by setting up a rhythm on a single note. Now, we do cover pedaling and how to structure your own phrases in great depth in the first lead guitar course. Here I'm going to touch on it, but a little more lightly. Let's take a look. Now, we're going to take a single note, as I mentioned, and we'll take the third string at the 5th fret, which is a C, which of course is the main root note of the C chord that is being played in the backing track. So here's our note. Now, the best way of thinking of pedaling is to imagine that you're going to play repeated notes on that particular position. But you're going to play those repeated notes in such a way that they are rhythmic and jive in time, or match, rather, the backing chord. So we're going to play the backing chord, and I'll give you some examples of pedaling now. Now, once you've set up a suitable, compatible pedal rhythm to the backing rhythm that you're jamming along to, you can then, if you're satisfied with that single note sounding rhythmic and working well with the backing, you can then add other notes in the scale. And remember, keep it extremely simple. Let's take another listen. Notice I only added that extra note in here, which of course, as you can hear, is the passing note. We'll try it again. Now let's try adding another note on the 7th fret of the 3rd string. Now, as you can hear, I'm slowly starting to build up some really nice phrases, but again, the key is to keep them very simple. And if you want to, throw in a bend. Now remember, when you are pedaling on that single note, make sure that you're perfectly happy with the kind of counter rhythm you've got going to the backing rhythm that you're jamming along to. Once you have a feel for the timing of the single pedal notes, then gradually add the other notes in. Now, what I would urge you to do next is something I'm going to demonstrate for you first, and that is try combining some pedal notes on the other chord notes and also making them join up with some of the melodic, simple lead phrases I taught you earlier on. Let's take a listen to them now. Now I'm going to begin by demonstrating how to pedal on the other notes, the 4th string and the 2nd string, and in some cases I'll pedal on that same note but as a bend, like that. Here we go, here's some examples. Now, just to finish off, I'd like to suggest that you practice again to that backing track, but please don't get too frustrated with the learning process. A lot of times when you're pedaling and trying to come up with some ideas, some of them just won't work at all, especially if you end on a passing note. But if you stick with most of the things I've shown you and you work at it gradually day by day, it'll get a lot better and your phrases will make a lot more musical sense.